Welcome to Globemart video tutorials. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about the flagship tool for buyers and sellers, the TradeDocs, trade form, management, and generator tool in Globemart account. Here we see the dashboard summary for Andy Brenner, our fictitious seller. On the left-hand navigation, you will see under our patent pending tradeware tools, the TradeDocs tab. If you click there, you can visit the very first submenu titled TradeDocs Overview. In this overview page, you can create or access various trade documents used for transactions and shipping. This trade form and document management tool is really an efficient, enterprise-light document management tool for you to generate, store, and access important and pertinent trade documents that you use on a daily basis. You can start off by searching for particular trade forms: Performa invoice, purchase orders, commercial invoice, packing slip, or bill of ladings. You can search by company, document number, the date ranges, and the country for the specific transaction. Here is a really quick snapshot of your most recent Performa invoices, purchase orders, commercial invoices, packing slip, and bill of ladings. You can click More to access these individual panels and create new documents specific to these forms. On the left-hand navigation tab, there are submenus for each pertinent trade document. Let's go and take a look at the Performa invoice. Again, on each top section, you're going to be able to search using the relevant attributes or variables to search for a particular trade document. The recent Performa invoices will be listed and tiled here for your visual presentation. You're able to download any particular trade document, send it as a PDF through your Globe Mail, or delete the document. Let's create a new Performa invoice. Clicking on Create Doc, you can take a look at the format of a standard Performa invoice. On the top, you can load a list of various existing trade forms, in this case a Performa invoice. You can apply a certain model, pricing structure, buyer role, and pricing channel for the pricing in the Performa invoice. Let's go ahead and collapse this navigation so we can have a better view. On the top left section lists the seller. In this particular case, it's this fictitious seller, Acme Footwear. You can clear the fields, enter a new seller, in this particular case we're going to put the company name, and it'll autofill through in your contacts. Or if you're the seller generating the invoice, you can click on Load My Name and Address. To the right of that is the invoice date, assigned invoice number, the seller tax ID number, and other reference. These fields are all pertinent in standard Performa invoices, and we make it convenient here for you to complete. Underneath that is the buyer or consignee. I can list, let's say, the buyer in my contacts to be VOIP Concepts Incorporation, and the ship to could be the same. So this particular buyer is requesting to purchase my products, and I'm generating a Performa invoice to him to commence the transaction. Underneath is the port of landing, final destination, exporting carrier, terms and conditions of delivery and payment, other transportation information, the currency of the sale, marks and numbers, total number of packaging necessary for transportation, total gross weight in kilograms, and cubic meters. Underneath, we can add certain item numbers, the commodity description and/or products, the quantity, unit price, the unit of method, and total price. Well, we've made it convenient for you to complete this Performa invoice because the price list and the products associated to any given seller will automatically populate the moment you type in the first few letters of the product. In this case, I'll put men's shoes, men's classic leather shoes. And it'll automatically populate. I can click on this tab and it'll take me directly to that product in a new tab. It'll autofill any associated item numbers and unit price. I can list another. The woman's shoe, $80 is the unit price that was associated, and the unit of measurement is case. The classic leather didn't have a price, so I can go ahead and input a price. I can input a quantity, so let's say the buyer wants to buy a dozen of each. It'll automatically calculate the total price. And an information icon will pop up. This information icon will talk about any associated discounted volumes tied to this particular quantity, given the volume discount that you've associated with this particular product in the volume discount tab within the trade list management tool, the price list management tool, the volume discounts. So it's a very intuitive tool that allows you easy and efficient population of information. You can certainly add new lines. You can delete the lines. Beneath that are packing costs, freight costs, other costs, handling, insurance, assistance, additional fees, duties, tax, and the total invoice value that's automatically computed for you based on aggregating and summing the total price of all the commodities listed on this invoice. Let's put an item invoice number and a date just so we can save this invoice. At the bottom of the invoice, you can save the invoice, save and exit, save and send through your Globe Mail, or save and download. We're going to save this invoice. Now it's saved. If we go back in the Performa invoice, we will see that a new Performa invoice has been created. All of these trade forms and documents are stored securely and safely in the cloud for you to access on any of your device, whether it's mobile, tablet, or computer, anywhere at any time. Let's move on to the purchase order. Here we can create a new purchase order. The vendor's name is VOIP, so here I am acting as the fictitious seller Acme Footwear looking to buy products from the vendor VOIP concepts. Ship to, I can load my name, or I can copy from the particular buyer. I can input again the date, purchase order, number, seller tax ID, and other reference. I can fill out the requisitioner information, the shipping via, the FOB terms, and the shipping terms. Here, I can auto-populate as well. It'll auto-populate, because this is a purchase order, I will auto-populate my vendor's product information. So in this particular case, I can put a mouse pad. It'll put a unit price number, and I can input the quantity. I want to buy 100 of these mouse pads. It'll total the price. I can add new lines. It'll add subtotals, input and calculate tax rates, shipping and handling charges that you can input, and then do a sum total at the end. Put a date in here. And I can save the order. Now I can go back to my purchase order, and I can see that there's a purchase order there created. If I go back into this purchase order, I can save and send. If I click save and send, it'll automatically attach it to a Globemail composed email, and I can certainly send it to the appropriate seller. Here is my new PO. Done. Let's go back to the TradeDocs and view the commercial invoice. Just another document that we can create. I can loaded list of commodities, copy data from a Performa invoice. So oftentimes Performa invoices turn into a commercial invoice. The seller shipper could be myself. I can input an invoice date, an invoice number, seller tax ID number, and another reference number. I can input a consignee or the buyer. In this case, I'll put VIP as the buyer. And all the relevant information of a commercial invoice, from port of landing, final destination, exporting carrier, terms of conditions, currency of sale, transportation information, marks and numbers, total number of packaging, gross weight, cubic meters. The commodity description will be associated with the seller in this case, which is myself. And I can put in, let's say, a women's shoe. It's going to auto-populate price. The HS code will have to be pre-designated. Let's say I want to order 50 pairs. It'll sum up the case price and tally based on other inputs to include a sum total at the end. I can save and exit, save and send, and save and download. Save the invoice. I go to my commercial invoice, and there is my commercial invoice tile that I just created. I can continue into the packing slip. I can create, again, a new packing slip, invoice, date, number, seller, consignee, relevant information, auto-populate products from the seller, and it'll sum total the quantity. I can save, download, and send. Lastly, our bill of ladings. I can create a standard bill of lading. This is a short form that generates a standard bill of lading. I can input the information, ship from my seller, the bill of lading number, ship to, carrier name, trailer number, serial numbers, third-party freight charges, bill to, the SCAC and pro number, special instructions, the freight charge terms. I can input customer order information, carrier information, commodity description. In this case, I can type in women's mesa, type it in, quantity, a dozen, type in units, I can put piece, quantity of package, one, let's say case, weight, let's say 2 pounds. If it's LTL only, I complete the information. The feed terms, the COD amount, the trailer load by shipper, by driver, freight count by shipper, driver, and pieces or pallets, and I can save this bill of lading. Let's take a look at what it looks like. I can save and download, and it'll auto-generate a bill of lading. that is the conclusion of our TradeDocs tutorial. It's very easy to use, very intuitive, and easily accessible as it safely and securely stores all of your important and pertinent trade documents right in the cloud that you can access through any mobile device anywhere in the world. Thank you.